One of my biggest life phobias is that one day my time as a single guy will come to an end and never come back. I mean, it's a scary thought when you think about it. It's almost like leaving your high school or your college for the last time and graduating. It's almost like a death in the family. It's almost like like moving somewhere, especially moving across a national border. It's all of that wrapped into one, right? And plus, with the kind of people that I date, I might even have to move to another country, right? So it's on top of the fact that I'm moving in a state of mind, right? And I have big fears revolving around that. That's probably why I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I've come close on 3 occasions in my life right now. In the 5 years ago, I was dating a girl that I had met at a conference a few years earlier when I was working on my PhD. And I had big fears because she also wanted children. And there were a lot of things I wanted to check off of my list before having children, especially writing computer games and going to a number of conferences. And at the time, there were a number of places that I wanted to travel to before I had children. There are still a few that I haven't gone to before I have children and have other commitments in my life. And 2020 has kind of put all of that on hold. It's kind of put the dating on hold as well, right? So it works in both ways. But I went into a frenzy of doing all those things that I wanted to do. And eventually I discovered there were too many things I wanted to do before having children. And she was quickly running out of time to have children. This girl was about 10 years my senior. And so that was that. And then I swore off dating again, especially because I realized how much, at the time I was working for a tech giant, and I realized how much vacation time I was burning from dating. I had to travel to her place, or she would travel here, and I would take a few days off, and I had no time to do all the other stuff that I love to do. You see, I'm a very solo-sexual guy by heart. When I think about Friday nights, what immediately jumps to mind is, not in 2020, but what immediately jumps to mind is going to a movie or a restaurant or going to a theme park alone. Usually the vision of a Friday night doesn't involve a girl for me. I'm pretty serious about that. Okay, so that went on for a few years, and then I was playing at a game tournament when I met another girl, and this time quite a few years my junior, and I thought, oh, thank God, I can buy some time before we think about children. From talking to her, she wanted children, but probably not anytime soon. I do want children someday. That's why I take good care of my health, so that when I'm 40 or 50, I can still have children and still have time to raise them. I feel like every time I consume something healthy like this black tea, I'm buying myself time in order to do things that I love to do and then have children later in life. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the gist of my overall planning. But things are moving very quickly. We were talking about 2 years ago now, and there were so many things I wanted to check off. And so in 2019, I competed in almost 20 computer games, and I made a fool of myself. I went out to see Jupiter and Saturn are coming into conjunction. I went on too many stargazing trips. I wasn't sleeping right. I wasn't eating right. I talked about in the past how I have been battling eating disorders. My eating disorder went completely out of control during those last couple of years when I was with her, because I thought my time was running out. I even gave that period of life a nickname. I called it my single life grand finale, because only a few years earlier we had all witnessed Cassini grand finale, and Cassini ended its mission by crashing into the atmosphere of Saturn. I was going to end the mission of my single life by crashing into the atmosphere of the girl, and I was trying to squeeze every little bit of mission that I could out of it, and I was out of control. If you go back and watch some of my videos from late 2019, early 2020, I was gaining a lot of weight. I wasn't dressed very well, probably. I had lost my job over eating disorder kind of problems. I was quickly losing all of my other friends, right? I'm surprised she even stuck around with me. What else was going on? I was a mess. I was a mess. But that just goes to show how there's how much I want to do alone, right? I really despise it when there's certain events that singles are just not welcome, right? You go to a restaurant or a bar or a movie or go bowling on a Friday night alone, especially in the big city, right? In Big Sky, Montana, not so bad, but try doing it in Seattle. Uh, Especially when we were in phase two. We've gone back to phase one, so you can't even do it right now. But when we were in phase two, people thought you were an idiot for going out, right? You're not even getting any sort of so-called social interaction, and you're just going to create a risk for yourself and everybody else. That's the sentiment that I got a lot when I went out. Or try going out on a Valentine's Day alone and trying to have a good time when everybody just makes fun of you. You get subhuman service, and anyways, COVID-19 happened, obviously, and this is good. I get to enjoy my single life again. See, I don't want to get divorced, and given that the girl was many years my junior, I don't want to outlive her either. And so I thought, this is it. When I crash, that's it. That's the end of the mission. I come from a family where none of my family members have ever gotten a divorce. I mean, my parents have argued quite a few times, especially at the beginning of COVID. My parents both need to go to work as part of their identities. That's why they haven't retired. My mom owns a small business. My dad's a chemical engineer. And when they couldn't go to the office, they became a mess. Now that they can slowly go back, I think things are getting better. I think my grandparents used to argue considerably too, but they always tried to make it up. And unfortunately, I love my single life too much. I've never gotten into a serious argument with a girl over anything else. I mean, the girl and I, both this one and the last one, we both have had times when we've cheated on each other, and we've always made up for it. We've had times where we had hidden things from each other, and that was always good. But it was the fact that I didn't want to give up my single life that caused all the problems. It's kind of funny. I've never heard this as a major reason for divorce, though. It's kind of funny. Usually it's money, sex, cheating. I've never heard I love myself too much as an excuse for divorce. It's kind of weird. That's probably the one reason that's going to cause me to divorce one day.